Absolutely fantastic! The arrogant false king is here with his ambitions to reach and rule the surface world. First, let's crack this bad boy open. S.H.Monsterarts Skar King. This Tamashii web exclusive release brings to life Skar King with a great sculpt, accessories, and full articulation. Now, I have to admit, I feel a bit torn on this figure, but we'll get into that later. Before we dive in, give this video a like, share, subscribe, and shop Hobby Link Japan. Skar King is in the 6-inch scale, standing roughly 6.5 inches tall. Skar King looks great next to our other S.H.Monsterarts figures, as to be expected. Skar King also looks great next to our S.H. Figuarts Ultraman figures and our 6-inch scale Chogokin figures. The scale checks out. Now let's see how well Skar King can move. Starting with the head, we can look up, down, left, right. This back mullet piece here can move up and down to fill in any gaps on the neck. The neck joint itself is on a very nice ball joint. The shoulders have a great range of movement. We can rotate these a full 360 degrees. The arms can come up higher than 90 degrees. We have a bicep swivel. We have an interesting situation going on in the elbows. I guess you would consider this to be double jointed, but as you bend the elbows, you'll notice that the forearm here likes to pop out really easily. I don't know what that's all about. I kind of feel like maybe this could have been engineered a lot better, because this elbow joint popping out, or excuse me, this forearm popping out a lot is really annoying. I don't know, it's just kind of strange. We have a swivel here in the elbows. We have a swivel in the forearms. The hands are on ball joints. They can twist, turn, and pop out very freely. The hands on this figure pop out way too easily. I'm not sure what that's all about. Again, I think it's another engineering goof going on here. I feel like this extra segment from the forearm to the wrist is maybe unnecessary, but yeah, the hands pop out way too easily here. In the upper chest, we can lean forward, backward, twist side to side, and lean side to side. In the waist, we can lean forward, backward, twist side to side, and lean side to side. Moving down to the legs, we can kick forward this much, backward this much, come out to the side this much. We have a thigh swivel. We have a very nice bend here in the knees, I guess almost double jointed, pretty much is double jointed. The feet can tilt and swivel, and then finally the toes are articulated. Now, an issue I have with the legs, I guess it's because of Skar King's design, but he is very top heavy and these legs seem a bit empty and hollow, so when you're posing him in dynamic poses, he tends to topple over very easily, or the legs kind of just give way. I kind of feel like they should have made these legs either thicker or more rigid or something to support these dynamic poses, because again, when you pose him with his legs spread out, it's easy for him just to go ahead and flip over, I guess just due to the weight distribution. And also, I think because the way his feet are designed, maybe we didn't need this toe articulation to help him be supported upright. I'm not really sure. The articulation of this figure is good, but it has its faults. If you guys get what I'm saying here. I don't know. When it comes to sculpted paint apps, Skar King looks great. Starting from the top, we have our nice head sculpt with detailed skin and textured red fur. On the face, we have our red face paint. The eyes have a very nice blue sculpt. The eyes really feel like they're glowing here, so it's really nice. We have the tiny teeth poking out of the mouth with a bone sculpt. The head sculpt looks nice, but something feels a tiny bit off. It's kind of hard for me to explain, but one thing I did notice, the red face paint does seem to be a bit off when it comes to the markings, and also I'm pretty sure this went all the way to the top of his head in the film. I'm not sure it's because I don't like this character or it's truly absolutely off. You let us all know in the comments below. The chest has a nice, muscular, lanky sculpt. We can see all the details in the pecs and abs with red fur. The back has a large, wide, furry sculpt. The fur is thicker on the shoulders and long, lanky arms. The legs have a slender, furry, detailed sculpt. The feet have a nice, detailed, hairless sculpt. For accessories, first up, we have our alternate roaring face that easily swaps out with our normal face. Now, when swapping out the face, sometimes the mullet separates from the top of the head, which can be a bit annoying. You can easily just plug this back in. To accompany our face, we have two pairs of hands. We have a pair of fists and a pair of walking hands. Now, something that's a huge miss here, where is our smirking face? I feel like that's a big drop here when it comes to this release. I'm shocked they didn't include that. Next up, we have the whiplash with a detailed sharp bone sculpt. At the base, we have a large mandible, and at the end of the whiplash, we have the translucent blue control crystal. The whiplash, I believe, is made of a bendable wire, giving it a lot of flexibility, but I straight up don't like this. At some point, bendable wires always seem to fail. I noticed when I'm flexing the whiplash around, it looks like certain parts are actually beginning to tear. I really wish this whiplash was made of nothing but straight ball joints instead of a wire, but I'm not an engineering expert, and maybe it would have been a bit more difficult or could have turned out a bit worse. I'm not really sure. I think maybe they should have had a portion of the whiplash all ball joints, maybe an end portion be a bendable pre-post segment, so you can have kind of a whipping action and a flailing action. I'm not really sure. Also, I think the whiplash is supposed to be a lot longer, if I'm not mistaken. You can't really wrap the whiplash around Skar King's body all that well, and it's kind of hard to pose him with it when you tack on how flimsy and loose the legs can be due to him being so top heavy. I don't know, it's kind of crazy here. Finally, we have the star of this release, the Beast Glove arm for Kong. The Beast Glove has a detailed yellow armored sculpt with various gears and panels. To attach, remove Kong's right arm, use the special included tool to remove the ball joint from the arm, and insert the ball joint into the new arm. And then finally attach the Beast Glove arm to Kong. Low key, I think this ball joint tool might be the second coolest part of this release. When bending the Beast Glove arm, you can see all of the mechanisms moving, which is cool, but when bending the arm, I noticed this interior gear section tends to pop off a little bit too easily. An open hand and holding hand has been included for the Beast Glove. Now, let's do some city building. As a whole, Skar King turned out great. The sculpt is well done, the paint apps are fine and off at the same time, the accessories are good, and Skar King is posable. For me personally, I do not like Skar King as a character. I think he is a very forgettable villain. I thought maybe having a good figure of him in hand would sway me a bit, but it didn't really. Skar King falling apart and the issues with the whiplash really hurts this release for me. And then also, we don't have an alternate head with a smirking face, which is weird. I feel like the best thing coming out of this release is the Beast Glove and the ball joint tool included. But at the same time, the Beast Glove is not without its issues. I just feel like this release was a missed opportunity and it's just weird. It's not the worst release ever, but it could have been better and I don't think it would have taken much to make it so. Now, do I recommend picking this release up? I will have to leave that up to you. I kind of do and I kind of don't have buyer's remorse on this release. Now, how much does Skar King cost? I imported my S.H.Monsterarts Skar King for $85. If you're waiting on the US release, it looks like you'll be paying between $99 to $110. Click the link on screen right now to pre-order yours today. To see more S.H.Monsterarts reviews or another absolutely fantastic review, click the links on screen right now. Be sure to follow me on social media. Definitely follow me on Twitch, and I'll see you guys in the next review.